I'm gonna have to speak with you again this lovely Sunday evening. I unfortunately come with, I don't know, somber news. But as I've been talking to you the last couple of weeks, we've got the only way through this is to get to the bottom, and the only way to get to the bottom is have a. Been rough for sure. They've been more orderly than you would expect. I for the record books. It will again be a Monday. I get up early for to watch it. I suspect we will be limit down in the morning for the first break. But again, in you know, it's gonna feel horrible. It's just gonna feel horrible. But the way flooded, and whelmed by losses. Again, I think I'm calling for at least two circuit breakers only, which is 13%. I suspect we lose 20 to 25% in the market next week. Capitulation is near. But again, you must go through capitulation to find that bottom where there just aren't any more sellers. And I think I said on this channel, I see this being a 50% drop peak to bottom. I think I called for it by April 15th as a time lag. It's happening faster and faster. It's coming, and it's here. Unfortunately, we haven't taken this thing seriously in enough mass that I'm afraid that our outcome is sealed. We said for far too long by far too many that this is just the flu, and it's not. I don't know why we believe. I just don't get that. It doesn't make sense to me. So at this point, we have to realize, where do we find some of the W's? So first off, I want to is admonish the right word? And I want to say that the federal government, all parties, all people in the federal government, top to bottom, have been grossly negligent and damn near incompetent and not okay. Good news is they have a chance to be part of the W's now. Every politician has been a loser, helping the losses by not clearly articulating what's going on and taking proactive stances. This virus is not killed with words. It is not just the flu. Mortality rate in Italy is astonishing and frightening and scary. And if I hear it's the flu one more time, I'm going to pull my hair out. The evidence is just so against that. So again, the federal government, you've been a huge disappointment. You're still the elected officials. We can't fire you, at least the next election. So let's do some good. Let's earn the respect of the American people again. So there's some things we got to start with the Fed. They did not even wait till their Wednesday meeting. They pulled an emergency thing today and went right to zero. What did they do? They cut a half. Was that a week ago only? Or was it 10 days ago? God, was that only last? This is amazing. I think it's 2 weeks ago. Must be 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I don't know. I should have looked. But it's been within the last days. And now they're just taking it to zero. Zero. That in the short term will hurt the dollar. That is certainly going to be a reason to sell. And I actually think what's going on that nobody's talking about is so many people have ETFs, index funds. And what it seems so orderly on the way down is when you sell an index fund, and when we sell in mass, it takes everything down with it. So we have the ETFs are going to exacerbate this problem. My firm belief. They've been the answer for so long that it was the greatest thing to invest in. It's correlate and all of this index fund, index fund, index fund. Well, there's always been a worry about when, when that day happened and everybody had to rush to the exits. We're going to see that tomorrow. Hence, limit down at least once, if not twice, because everybody's going to go sell, sell, sell. That's what capitulation. It's going to be a bloody, bloody week. Yeah. So what else do we got? So rates are at zero. I think corporations, some of the biggest corporations in the world, are doing some amazing things on their own. Apple, Nike, Urban Outfitter are ones that I saw before I did this call. They're closing their stores, just closing them. They know they'll take a revenue hit. It will help flatten the curve. Certainly, they'll get some business online. I'm not confused, but they didn't have to do this. They're doing it on their own. I wish, the federal government would see this and suck it up. Something. You want to put a positive spin on it? I don't give a shit. Let's flatten this freaking thing and tell all those people out there that are going to parties, events with thousands of people that, you know what? That's probably not a good idea for the next couple of weeks. We're going to crush our hospital system here very, very quickly. What else is going on? So there's some athletes that are stepping up in a big way. It started with the gentleman in Cleveland. I forget his name all of a sudden. But there are many athletes stepping up to help the workers in their areas, and companies are doing their part. But we need the federal government to step up. All you have to do is research Italy. And I actually have people watch this channel from Italy. If you're from Italy, be well, be safe. Keep giving me your daily updates about what's going on. It's frightening. Their mortality rate is double digits. There are too many folks that have already passed that are because nobody's going to come to a tragedies I couldn't imagine. The government needs to lead on. I definitely mandate a 2-week holiday. Let's spin it as a positive, a 2-week respite, a 2-week whatever you want. Stay home, be close to your family. Stop, shut everything down, shut restaurants, shut bars, shut everything down, except grocery stores, pharmacies, hospitals, and I don't know, whatever else. The key things. You're smarter than I am. The big thing that I think the government needs to do immediately, like tonight, is they need to turn over triage centers throughout the United States. I've heard of this in New Rochelle. Maybe there's a model there that can be rinsed and repeated. Our military is amazing. I would call in the National Guard. I would call up reserves. I would do whatever I could to get the bodies there. And I would say, you know what? Just like China, where they manufactured hospitals in weeks, we're going to go create 200, 300, whatever you want to do, 400 triage centers immediately. And we're going to tell people, you know what? If you want to test, go to one of these triage centers to test. Stop making it words saying anybody who wants one will get one. You look like an idiot when you say things like that. Let's actually get them. The other thing is, whatever you think the number of cases we need, quadruple it. Let's stop underestimating this thing. Just stop underestimating it. Please stop underestimating. You think we need 1 million? Get 4 million. You think we need 5 million? Get 20. Just, let's start to put some W's on the board. If you have the test and you have the triage centers, anybody who feels sick, go this thing behind us. Man, it's not that hard. The other thing we could do is, I think there's a lot of good things in the Friday Families First Act, I think they're calling it. The fact that wasn't approved over the weekend, Senate looked like idiots. I mean, what the hell are you doing? The Fed was working over the week, aren't you? Why isn't this thing scheduled yet? I can't believe this is going on. I just can't believe what's going on. Go approve that thing. Get ready to feel okay. And unfortunately, that's going to cost some short-term money for the next 4 to 8 weeks. We got to get this train back on the track. It is going to be wobblier than before because we weren't ready. Then there's a big one that the federal government needs to be thinking about. Maybe the Treasury needs to be thinking about is small business. I have already heard about small businesses from folks on this channel. Thank you for reaching out. in Seattle, closing their doors forever. And it's only been, what's it been, 4 weeks kind of since it sort of hit Seattle. You could say that's okay, right? It's a cleansing process, all of that. And if we lose 40% of the restaurants and bars, who cares? If that's your answer, okay. Suspicion is we don't want to do that. Certainly, some of them are bad operators and don't need to be in business. I get it. But in wartime crisis, you kind of throw out the window, right? And if you don't think we're in a war right now and we need that kind of mentality and response, you're not paying attention. This is wartime stuff. The thing that takes people down in the future, that hundreds, thousands, not millions of people, is not a nuclear bomb. It's these freaking little bugs, and this happens to be a particularly nasty one. Yeah, futures are down. It's going to be ugly tomorrow. Oh my God, it's going to be ugly. The other thing, again, I've talked about this a couple of times. I am absolutely a capitalist, but in wartime, you need to do abnormal things. If I was the federal government, I would get somebody signed up to be, hey, we are going to buy 10 to 20% of critical businesses if they ask us to. And then buy it, right? Take ownership stakes. So us, the American people, don't yell at you for bailing out the rich. When you take ownership, you get the upside. And who has a bigger checkbook than the federal government? You freaking create the money. So use this opportunity to buy at the bottom, and in 3, 4, 5 years, start selling your little pieces and put it against the national debt so we come out of this thing even stronger. I am a capitalist. I know that sounds socialist, but this is wartime. Abnormal things need to happen. Buy at the bottom. Don't loan. Don't forgive. Buy 10 to 20%. Enter confidence, and let's get through this thing together. And then the last thing, that if this thing gets as bad as I see it coming, I see us Italy times 4, just because our number of people. You're going to seriously have to think about a debt holiday for May 1st or somewhere in there, because we're not prepared. People live paycheck to paycheck here. We're a consumer economy, which works most of the time, but it is about to get ugly. I honestly believe that there will be more lives lost from the economic fallout than from the virus. Think about that for a minute. And we have the ability to control some of the economic fallout, but we've been slow to act, I guess I'll say, instead of saying something harsher like I wanted to say. So again, I came to you 2 weekends ago on Sunday with an unfortunate message. I have another one, and I think it's going to be worse, right? Last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, I'm like, ooh, ouch, tomorrow's going to be rough. I think Monday's going to be really rough. I think twice last week we hit circuit breakers down. We're going to hit it immediately Monday. I suspect in the first hour we may hit it again, which is number 2 at 13%. And I think there's a chance we hit the 87 crash, which was 22% down, which is interesting because as I understand the circuit breakers, first 7% 15-minute pause, 13% pause, and then actually, I guess we can't, because when we hit 20% down, the market shuts. Yeah, the market shuts. So actually, we can't hit 22%. It's a logical improbability, or whatever you would say. So I think there's a chance we might be 20% down tomorrow. It's going to be that ugly. We'll certainly be 20% down for the week. We just don't have enough W's. The losses are stacking up. This is what a bottom feels like. Hello from Miami, or hi Miami. So yeah, I wish I had better news, but again, once we hit the bottom, we can start putting that in, and we can start looking for opportunities. So I guess what I want to say is, rough as next week, specifically Monday's going to feel. It could be that capitulation day. I certainly think ETFs are a big problem in here, and people aren't talking about it. They will next week, I hope. I hope they see the same things I'm seeing. Oh, I'm so nervous for tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm just nervous. So, in the end, I wish I had better news. Sorry. We're in this together. We got to get to the bottom so we can get back. We can get through, get out of this thing. Man, it's going to be scary. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.